Hey everyone, Crazy Jimmy here. Been a little bit, say a couple weeks from the last video, but I got a pretty good one today. I want to feature some artists, not all the artists, but some of the artists from the 1976 film, or kind of like a documentary on the alternative country rock, country folk, whatever you want to call it, scene from Texas. And I'll tell you, you probably all know I love my country rock, alternative country, whether it's the '90s bands like Wilco and Jayhawks. Love the '70s stuff, the '80s. Love me some Dolly Parton. I mean, I'm pretty love my Private Pressings. I'm pretty across the board. Love a lot of different genres. As well, other than cosmic country and that sort of stuff. But I never really focused on the artists from Texas, and it was a pretty cool scene they had going there. And there was a film, and we're gonna call this the Heartworn Highways episode. And here's the soundtrack from the film Heartworn Highways. Hope I'm saying that right. I am. And it's a 1976 film. You can actually see it on YouTube. Pretty cool. Not all the tracks on this soundtrack are featured in the film, but you can see every single one of these tracks on this soundtrack on YouTube with like alternative parts of the film that weren't shown in the film itself, so the regular film. But really great double album. And a lot of these tracks were done, acoustically. They're not the same as what they released on the albums, a lot of these artists. So, of course I had to have this soundtrack because of that, and because of the acoustic nature of a lot of these tracks that can be found on their regular albums, but not in the same, not sounding the same, of course. But yeah, the film is just fantastic, and let me just go over some of the artists in this film. And first of all, in the film is a very, very young, I believe he was 19 years old at the time, maybe even younger, Steve Earle. So super young, hanging out with, these Texas legends, like Townes Van Zandt, for instance. But yeah, young Steve Earle, and there's actually 3 tracks on here from Steve. Also in the film, playing acoustically is Townes Van Zandt, of course, and he's got a track or 2 on here. Steve Young is also in the film and on the soundtrack. Rodney Crowell is here. Guy Clark, David Allan Coe, Larry John Wilson, Richard Dobson, John Hyatt, Gamble Rogers. So yeah, really, incredible alternative scene that I really, I knew of a bit, but I didn't really know how great and how big it was. When I hear of, the Texas scene back in the 70s, I immediately think it's, going to be really hardcore country, and it really wasn't. It was more like alternative folk and alternative country, and it's right up my alley, and I just didn't know how great it was. Of course, I've got albums from a lot of these artists, but I just never kind of put 2 and 2 together, the Texas thing. So, but yeah, great film. Check it out. It's on YouTube, 1976. You will thank me for it if you haven't seen it. So let me jump into some of the albums that I want to feature from the artists from this soundtrack. First one is a very young Steve Earle. Well, Steve Earle didn't get going and get his first record contract till I think he was in his 30s. I know he had issues. I know he was in prison for a little while. So kind of terrible things happened to him, I guess. His own doing, I guess. But, Steve's first solo album right here. Fantastic album, Guitar Town. I've got an original pressing with the hype sticker right there. Probably should be featuring this on my third installment of hype stickers, but we'll show it here. And then this one's sealed and this one's open, so this is my open copy. But Guitar Town, what a fantastic alternative country album. Just spot on. Brilliant. And then right after that, 1980, that was released in 86. He also released this as Steve Earle and the Dukes. And this was also, I think, the same year, 86. But yeah, not as good as Guitar Town, but still really good. Get the hype sticker right there. Sorry for the glare. Everything's in the shrink, so MCA label. But I'll go through my Earl collection pretty quick. I have all his early material, which is really hard to get on vinyl. But this is side tracks, so B-sides and goodness there from Earl. But yeah. And then another one that's really hard to get. This is, I think it's Feel Alright. I Feel Alright. Love the cover on this. And I'm sorry for the cloudiness and everything. I tried to adjust my lighting, and I don't know what the issue is, but I know it's kind of cloudy and kind of hard to see, but I'll do my best to show you what's going on. But great album here. That one was from 90, I think that's a 90s album. Got a few of his 90s here. Steve Earle and the Del McCoury Band. So that's Steve with, bluegrass legend. And it's really a great album, actually. This is probably one of my favorites from Steve. El Corazon. Probably Corazon. But this is definitely one of my favorites from Steve Earle. Another one here. I think this is Transcendental Blues, double album. Well, and then this has got the old hype sticker there, but another one that's pretty hard to get these days. This one's super hard to get. Train is Coming. This was the album he released right after he got out of prison, and I believe a lot of these tracks, some of these tracks are from the 70s. He wrote some of these in like early mid 70s when he was a teenager. And actually, there's a track on here redone that's on the Heartworn Highways soundtrack. Of course, it's different on that. Completely acoustic with Steve Young and Guy Clark next to him. Susanna Clark singing as well with him. But yeah, that's on here redone along with several other tracks that he wrote in prison. Pretty cool. Jerusalem, love the cover. Pretty cool snake on the front cover. Here. And then this was his second album from 87 or 88, Copperhead Road. There. But yeah, Steve Earle from, and he was the youngest kid there. He was I think he must have just turned 20 in 1976. I think he was a teenager, though, when they filmed it. Really cool to see him there with his long hair and his baby face with all those hardened Texas legends. And then, of course, Townes Van Zandt. I'll show you what I've got there. This is Our Mother, the Mountain from Townes. Late 60s, early 70s stuff. Flying Shoes. On Tomato. These are all originals. This one here is the late great Townes Van Zandt. There he is with an obscene gesture. And Delta Mama Blues on Poppy. God, I love the Poppy label. Look at that label. It's pretty cool. And probably what many consider his best, his self-titled from 69. Do I think it's his best? It's up there, but I actually think his best is this double live album, Live at the Old Quarter, Houston, Texas. This is, I think, his best. It's just so intimate, and he's really, he's top-notch. His storytelling is just phenomenal. And you'll see that, too, in the movie if you watch it. Some stories there. And then high, low, and in between, there's Towns with some long hair. Poppy, of course. Poppy. We're going to roll through these pretty quick because there's a ton of them. All right. And then we've got Richard Dobson, who is in the film as well. This is The Big Taste. This is my favorite Richard Dobson album. And this is Richard Dobson's first album from 1977, In Texas Last December, on Buttermilk Records. Private pressing. Both the Richards are private. There's the Buttermilk label. Great, really good alternative. It's really more folky than country, but it's cool. What I consider David Allan Coe's best album, The Mysterious Rhinestone Cowboy, 1974. And true story on this one. The Rhinestone Cowboy, the song Rhinestone Cowboy, was offered to Glenn Allan Coe first, and it was supposed to be on this album, and he turned it down. So, and the rest was history. I think Glenn Campbell recorded it and made a ton of money off of it, but Rhinestone Cowboy is really not his style. It's just that type of pop is not his style. So, but this is just a great. This is a lot of cosmic country going on in this album. Brilliant album. All right, got a few from Steve Young. We got Renegade Picker. This is, I think, from 76. On the RCA label. My favorite Steve Young, Seven Bridges Road. Really cool album cover in the shrink. Promo, white label, on reprise. But yeah, really cool cover. Love Steve Young. Steve Young's second album, Honky Tonk Man. Actually, third album, sorry. Third album. And there's the label. All right, also in there, featured heavily in the movie is Guy Clark. His first one, Old Number One, from 1975. On the RCA label. Again, these are not like George Strait. These are not hardcore country albums. These are, definitely alternative country. Texas Cookin', his second album. Excellent album. And his self-titled Guy Clark. I think this is his third. On Warner Brothers. So that should do it. Yeah, that's all my Heartworn Highways stuff right now. Obviously, I don't have every artist that was in the film. There's a few I'm missing. Gamble Rogers I'm missing. John Hyatt, I actually have some John Hyatt somewhere tucked away. But yeah, Larry John Wilson, I need some of his work. And Rodney Crowell, I need some of his work. So, but yeah, check this film out. I really wanted to kind of showcase the film from 1976. It's on YouTube. You can go check it out. It's about an hour and a half long. But if you like alternative country or country rock, you will absolutely love this album. It looks like it has Towns right on the front cover there. Really, really, really cool movie. So check it out. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.